All right, and it's time for Discovery Paranormal, and I am here for you, trying to figure it out like everybody else. And all that sometimes it's better just to don't figure it out, man. Just leave it alone, just let it sit. Because what difference does it make anyway? What difference does it make? Asking what I'm talking about? I have no idea. This is the deal, though. I'm thinking about, I see these shows, Ancient Aliens, right? They got that George Tsoukalos, right, with the hair, and he's all, this is what gets me about people. One thing, for starters, not talk about people's personal hygiene or whatever they got going on, however they hold themselves, right? In general, if you want people to take you seriously, you can't walk around a certain way. You've got to present yourself, unless you don't care. If you're that, but then if you don't care, why are you out there in front of people trying to convince them of something? So whenever I see somebody that's out there trying to convince me of something, first of all, do I really need to know the information that they're putting out there? I have a big, gigantic file in life, a life file called I don't care, right? And I just put it all in there, like, 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 just like that, you know, in the shredder of life. You know what I mean? Like the spam mail of life or the junk mail of life. I don't need to know the information. I don't need to know. But then people try to push it on me anyway, and then they're forcing me to make a decision. You know, whether to release the dogs. that's always that's usually my go-to. Release the dogs, mm. or if I'm, depends how bored I am too. Because sometimes I'm just sitting there, and I'll get one of those phone calls like the spam caller. And lately, man, these guys have been cursing me out, there, and I'm just on it, and I'm just kind of being funny, not even being specifically nasty or rude or vulgar, just being funny, But I don't like they like the sense of humor, and also wasting their time and going through the whole process. But I've had a few of them telling me to f off. That's like spam caller pay dirt. You called me. Call me and tell me to f off. So yeah, there's always that too. But as I'm watching these ancient aliens, and there was also the chorizo sausage people are talking about, how this so-called scientist released a photo saying it was, a photo from space and all that. And if you looked at it, you knew it wasn't a photo from space. Obviously, it looked like a hunk of something, you know, organic, like a sausage or a pepperoni. Those of us that know our way around that type of stuff, you know. So, but people are, So then he's like, oh, it was just chorizo sausage, not the space, the telescope, and whatever. Trying to be Mr. Funny Man. He's trying to be funny, right? Scientists should never, ever do that. You can't, you can't be a funny dentist. You know what I mean? There's things that you just can't do. I went to his dentist's office in Ithaca one time, and the guy was all like with the laughs, and he had a weird half of a duck sticking through the ceiling, like the lower part, like you're looking up at the water or whatever. I don't know. The whole thing. I didn't like the whole thing. It made me feel like I was in a carnival and not in a dentist's office that's supposed to be standard, professional, clean, you know. And the guy's all with the yucks. I got my own jokes, and it has nothing to do with my teeth. I take that very seriously, especially when you're getting drilled and filled. You don't want like Dave Chappelle, or Rodney Dangerfield on the drill. You know what I mean? No, no. So you're gonna put some sausage up. Then the guy's like, "Oh, I just did that, to tell people they should question authority and all this weird political crap." Listen, dude, you're you're nobody. No one's gonna think of you after this. You know what I mean? Like you put something out there to instead of marveling at space in a new telescope, you put something out there that was just stupid, and then trying to show people how stupid they are. Yeah. I think people already know how stupid they are. That's why they look for escapism. But things like this show or other things like that, whatever telescope. But know what happened from the whole thing. And of all these people commenting, because this is the day and age of the commentator. Before you have television programs and all, you could, if you want to comment, you have to write it in, which is a huge effort. And there are people that do that, but they'll sit there and write out a whole letter or type it out and then mail it, feel that satisfaction, and then most likely won't get a response. This day and age, you not only make the comment for the entity, but you have all these other people watching it happen, looking at what you're saying, judging that. You're judging this, they're judging that. And then you go back and forth with that. That's what Twitter is. It's a big twatty type of twaddle thing where people are fighting it out. If you want to fight it out, if you're an angry person, you want Twitter. Twitter's your thing. It makes you angry. You throw the anger out there. All these people, they all want to be rock stars. They all want to be recognized for their their abilities, their intelligence, or their quick wit and whatever. But I'm going to say I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That's why like the television news, all the cable channels, it's all opinion. It's these people, 5 or 6 or 7 people talking about some cherry-picked information, and they all got their, they're all leaning to one side or the other, and they got their jabs. I don't care about that. I just need to know the news. I want to know what happened. Tell me a plane crashed with 18 people on it and whatever. That's fine. I don't want to have to go into the who's and whatsies, especially with politics and people guessing at things. They're guessing. It's a theory. That's their own personal theory. I don't care about that either, especially if they're famous. The Hollywood trash types are the worst. Oh my God, they're going to tell you everything that they think that you should think. And if you think something different than them, they make fun of you, man. They put you down, call you all kinds of names. That's what it's always been. It's just like elementary school, isn't it? And people never goddamn grow up. And then it's like you got these cliques, you got the hierarchy, you've got the people who will put other people down behind their backs or to their face or whatever, and and then constantly judging you. People are constantly judging you. You know what I mean? Everything that you say or do or whatever. I don't care. Whenever people tell me they're impassioned bullcrap, I've got to tell you that I don't care. The only time I care is when I want to mess with you. That's really worth that. If you get my interest in the Jehovah's Witness, it's because I want to gut wrench you. I want to gut you like a pig right on the front door of my house and tell you what all kinds of stuff. Oh man, throw some Mormons my way. I've got tons of questions. I've got so many questions. Questions they can't answer. That's why the Mormons used to run past my house. They all did. After a little while, it was the house to avoid. I used to see, they used to come. I had this crazy clown mask for left over from Halloween. I used to put that thing on and open the door and start talking to them like I had no mask on. And I'm 6'5", man, and the door had a good 6-inch rise. So you got someone who's effectively 7 feet tall, this big giant dude with a clown mask. That's why they ran past the house. But they didn't bother me after that, which was good, because they're idiots and they should be knocking on your door anyway. Oh my God. Hello? You heard about Jesus Christ? Have you heard about Jesus Christ? No, I never fucking heard about Jesus Christ. I'm 55 years old. Yeah, nobody ever said Jesus Christ. I'm 55 years old. In the United States of America, nobody ever said that. I never heard. Oh, who are you talking about? One time I did that. I said, no, I have not heard of Jesus Christ. Tell me about it. Is it a girl? She's a guy. Someone lives on the block. Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. If you don't know Jesus Christ, you're going to go to hell. Where is this hell? I think I know the address, or at least the general neighborhood. You know what? Screw you and your crazy beliefs, man, and you know nothing. You know nothing about those beliefs. You know nothing about the book that you preach. Nada. So, yeah. Let's start the show. So, I'm thinking of the ancient aliens. I'm thinking, this is all BS. I don't want to know. And I already did my own research on this, and I've done shows, about, hey, go back at the end of the ice age, what was going on, because that's what you've got to do. If you want to know the what happened, you got to know the history. You got to know the growth of that area. You got to know what happened before that. So you have all these Native American tribes out, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. And then they talk about the Ant people, Navajo talks about the Ant people. They all have, all the different tribes have a different name for the same type of being. And they all drew the same pictures, these pictographs and all that, and that's all great. I love this stuff, love history, love to know about these things, and you know, but really, it means nothing in terms of today. Today is where are we when it comes to contacting thee, you know? Because I have questions, man. More questions for aliens than I do for Mormons. And that's an amazing thing, but questions nonetheless. So, and if they're able, see, this is my thing too. I feel like if the whole world woke up and realized that, yeah, there's aliens, yeah, they're out there, in the scientific community, they take it as a given. Most people do. 1 in 4 people in the US believe that there are aliens. We've been visited and helped out or whatever. Every ancient civilization tells the tale of some type of sky being coming down and helping and teaching the creatures here, you know, the humans, how to survive, how to live, how to grow, so go forth and multiply. And people did. Going to hit 8 billion this year. 8 billion served. That's a lot of people. At the same time, you have water evaporating, our fresh water supply in the world is evaporating. There's things that are happening that just a few months down the road are going to affect people, like in the US, and then there's things happening that's going to affect people way down the road that there's really no way to reverse it at this point. So, I mean, you can shut the switch off, but you see that when you do that, everything shuts down. So, yeah, ancient aliens. So I want to hear about the Egyptians. Sure, you tell me about. They don't even know what the hell the pyramids were for, unless you figure that out. Don't even throw anything else in there. That's my problem with people and their theories, right? What they're just based in what their thoughts, what their imagination says. Sci-fi type of imagination. I want real technical data that I can sink my teeth into and say, this is real, this is tangible, this isn't somebody's hypothesis, this isn't someone's theory of what something is, this is what we're dealing with. So me as an investigator, I can go look all through history and pluck out all kinds of incidents that had happened that were based in UFOs type of stuff, alien type of stuff you can't explain, right? We can go way back. We can go back to Muhammad, where the Archangel Gabriel took him in a spaceship and then flew him around the earth, showed him other civilizations, flew him back in time, ahead in time, showed him all kinds of stuff, took him out in space on another occasion and brought him back. So unless this guy was tripping on something pretty heavy, like Moses style, I think that you had a lot of the leaders back then. All of them approached and had some kind of incident with this future knowledge, something that's unfolding, giving people enough knowledge to go forward, right? But not enough where you're doing it for them. teach them what to do. So I don't know. When it comes down to all of that, I think of contact. I think that Barack Obama, when he was on the Ellen DeGeneres show, this kid stood up and asked him a question if there's aliens, and Obama had his I'll do it like Obama.
Uh, uh, well, I can honestly say that we've never had a direct contact with extraterrestrials. By the way, you'll get a visit from the Men in Black later on tonight.
That's it. The Men in Black are going to visit, You asked a question on the old Jenner show? Yes, I did, unfortunately. But he worded the answer like a lawyer would write it for you to say. you know, like I can honestly say that. And by the way, I checked into a hotel room once, like a year and a half ago, whatever, and I asked the woman, "Is there bed bugs here?" She's like, "I can honestly say there's no bed. I've never seen a bed bug here." Meanwhile, I got attacked by bed bugs in that horrible place. So yeah. So I'll tell you, when he answered, I can honestly say that we've never had any direct contact with extraterrestrials. That leaves a lot. That's not just like a no. He could have said no. Have we ever? Are there aliens? No. Are there aliens? Nope. No, 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 no. There are no aliens, you little brat. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Except the men in black who will be visiting you later on. No. Yeah, no. They could have said no. If you ask me a question and the answer is no, I'm not going to come out with this big long explanation of no. I'm just going to say no. No. So, but if we examine that sentence, what he said, I think that you can definitely see that there's a lot of Texas sidestep going on there, and that's fine. Obama's a temp worker, they're given very limited information. It's nothing long term that they really truly need to know about, But it really comes down to contact, talking. Yeah, I was watching that movie, something contact, making contact, and something like that. And another one of those claptrap where aliens come and they got this thing going on, blah 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 blah. And it comes down to they got one part right when it comes down to communication. It comes down to where it all begins. Learning the alphabet, learning how to communicate with somebody else, right? And what means what. So it's going to come down to that. If you think about the cosmic equation and the fact that humans are on such a different level as if you have these technological beings, I have my own theory that they're all idiots. You know what I mean? Like that's why they do so much anal probing, because they're idiots. I think that their technology has grown to the point where they got lazy and weak and whatever. That's why they're all puny and small and they got big heads. And then basically their whole life is watching these screens. I see it now with people on their cell phones. That's the dumb monkeys on this planet now. What about the future? You have all the stuff. I mean, isn't the invention of technology there present for the ease of your own life? I mean, hasn't it always been that way, right? The vacuum cleaner, you know what I mean? So it sucks up all the stuff, you know what I mean? There's things, the washing machine, just things in your house that are basic, that are necessities in a way. But the olden days was much more labor intensive, much different. So, the necessity is the mother of invention, right? And then people come up with all of these inventions to make your lives easier. I don't know about cell phones. I think they just make people dumber by the day. I know that kids out there are, when they do their homework, are getting all their answers from their cell phones. You know, it's an epidemic. No one's putting a stop to it. It's another thing that's going to go off the rails in the near future. That is something that you can definitely tweak and curve and change and control. You know, especially the individual parents and all that, and what they give their children access to. But it really also comes down to your basic understanding of things in general. So I like to read. I like to read books. I read books basically. I read something every day. You know, not just reading off of the internet, not just reading articles and things like that, but actually like books. You know what I mean? And I'm not into fiction either, so I get into real stuff. So it's different for your brain to read that information and have it in your mind, you know, and instead of just electronically, you know, hearing it or absorbing it that way. And you know, depending on what your perception is, some people are more auditory, so they like to listen and hear things like books on tape and that kind of thing would have more of a penetrating thing for their brain than reading it. You know what I mean? So whatever. It really comes down to this. It comes down to you and what makes you happy every day and your personal perceptions. And when you communicate, whether it's your cat or your dog or your parrot or your rat or the person who lives next door down the block or whatever, man, you know, it comes down to having a basic communication between two individuals. So let's say some ET popped up. And I'm not entirely convinced that ET is even ET. I think they're probably here before we were, you know, and they just don't want to show themselves. I also think that they're in the furthest reaches of the planet that we can't access, not with any equipment or anything, right? But yet, at some point, we're going to be able to. And then when we can access those areas, they're going to be found out. So at some point, their hand is going to be forced to really make that connection, right? Unless they're blithering idiots, like I think they are. I think that it's up to their computers to do that type of thing. I've seen that in Star Trek. Don't tell me that. I've seen where the whole planet was like morons, like the computer was basically just a control of them all. You know what I mean? And Captain Kirk destroyed that shit. he was like, I think it blew up. Boom. These guys were like, well, what are we going to do? You're going to live. You're going to live, God damn it. Live. By the way, I'll take 2 of those blondes. I got some stuff to do. I'll see you later, Spock. I got 2 blondes here. Captain Kirk porked his way through the universe. That's what people do. That's what mankind does. That's the thing. If you're going to start calling on aliens, they might show up. And what if the ones that show up, you know, look at us just as cockroaches, man? Something to step on like a bug, take our resources. And, you know, I know you've seen tons of movies. What scares me is that these movies always come true. So, I don't know what it is. Art imitating life, life following art, whatever, man. You make that pathway, you make that connection. Anything can happen. That's why people need to own AR-15s. Whenever someone asks me, "Why do you need an AR-15?" For aliens. That's it. That's all I need to say for aliens. Because, you know, maybe they're not going to be very friendly. Maybe they're not going to be the types, hey, come on in for some coffee, man. And I've got good coffee. Good coffee, a little cream on top, a little cinnamon or nutmeg, man. Pow, pow, pow! Alien friendship right away. Get those aliens hooked on my junk, hooked on my coffee junk. They come back all the time. That's what, you know, but in the universe, isn't that what it is? It's the one who has more power over the next one, and then that one is in the servitude or the submission of the other one. That's what humans are. And humans are that on every level. Every level. It's at work, it's in government, it's in your personal life, you know, everywhere. So I've got a 0 tolerance for BS, which means I don't have a lot of friends. You know what I mean? But the friends that I have are the most best, worthy, amazing, tight people you'll ever meet in your entire lives, you know. And I have a nice little circle. That's all that I need. That's all that you need You don't need 3,500 friends. The people living their fantasy life. They're gonna go on Facebook or these other crap social media, give up all your information, put out all your dirty laundry, do all this weird stuff, and then here are these people like you don't even know, the strangers, judging you, talking shit and whatever. You put something out there, and then even the ones you never hear from, unless you put something out there, your own personal opinion, and they come out like a sniper. The snipers. And I realized a long time ago, there's no virtue in that. There's nothing. There's no substance. There's no nothing. There's it's just an electronic distraction from people that I don't know. If I'm that much of an asshole, hater, troll, or heckler, I go on Twitter, and I do. I'll go. I like to drop the bomb. I drop an Amber Heard bomb right in the middle of their bed, man. Pop, pop, boom, boom. Big stinky bomb. And then I run away. I leave. My cat used to do that. Go take a poop in a litter box and not even try to cover it up. Like poop and run, like you just dropped a hand grenade. Run! you know? So yeah. I did run. I run to get rid of it. Otherwise it stink the whole joint up. So that's the real life. Drop the bomb and run. No point in hanging around to see what happens. That's what's weird about people. Just that's what's weird about people. You know what I mean? People people like to hang around and cause trouble, man. They like to hang around and just be part of something that's inherently bad. It's best to just grab freedom for yourself. Do what makes you happy. Don't anybody put you down. Let's say you like paranormal investigations. It's up to you. You want to go and talk to ghosts. It's up to you. You want to find out more. But you do it for yourself, right? Like when I did all this stuff, I did it for myself. I wanted to document it. And because I had the background in television, I wanted to make kind of a show out of it, to show people what happens. My aim for the show, which is at youtube.com/Discovery Paranormal. All one word there, Discovery Paranormal. My aim for that show was to show people what the investigation was like and what we found on the way. There wasn't as much editing. It was all real, kind of real time feel. I want people to be on the investigation with us. I don't want to blurt out music. You watch a lot of those shows, they got music on there playing in the background and all kinds of weird stuff. And if you're actually watching and listening and checking something out, it's very distracting and they waste a lot of time too. People and their personalities, which is, I get it. They're trying to tell the backstory of the people who are in the show. I just don't care. I don't care. I think that they're all worth nothing. There's just it's entertainment. It's not any kind of integrity of investigation. That stuff's gone out the window. It's just television's a fake world. That's what it is. It's fantasy. People tell their fantasy stories in the way they see it. When you do real investigations, you know exactly how it is and how different you know the reality is of those things. And we've done investigations in places like those, the TAPS guys. I think that the whatever they call it, it just TAPS. They have another name, something, whatever the acronym, something for TAPS, but those guys, and they broke a lot of ground in the beginning, even though it was very Dog the Bounty Hunter-ish, like like these shows, when they really don't appeal to me, like a Dog the Bounty Hunter. I look at that dude, I'm like, ugh, yuck. He just reminds me of everything that's just crusty and crappy out there in the world, and it's not something I want to be part of. It's not something I believe in. I don't like that level of type of people, the way they think, the way they treat others, that mentality, you know what I mean? And there's a connection that Hollywood and television and or television tries to make to grab their audience. They're trying to target their audience, so they know that they want all of these crusty people to watch it. So they're going to watch a Dog the Bounty Hunter. They're going to watch whatever these other shows are, the swamp shows, whatever, fishing for alligators or snakes or whatever. Ugh, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to the paranormal, you have a large paranormal group of people, but yet I don't know what they're looking for when it comes to those shows because I've seen those shows. Last time I saw was that Zach, right? And this guy should more be in a psychiatrist's office than the ghost hunt. He's another dude who kind of just puts it out there and is very sensationalistic in what he does. He's trying to get that audience and get the audience going. You know, I don't know. The last time I saw this show, he was draping himself over a coffin, and something supposedly grabbed his buttocks, and he was like, "They grabbed my ass! They grabbed my ass!"
Oh, they grabbed my ass! They grabbed my ass!
That's what he did, and I turned the channel right away. That didn't take me even a second. That remote found itself in my hand. I was gone. I was gone. That was some stupid stuff, or the evidence that they have is some scratching in the wall. We picked up scratching in the wall. We think it's a ghost. They're scratching. So whatever, man. Same. Communication. Talk to them. Find out who the hell they are, why the hell they're there, if they want to hell leave, and then do your business, collect your evidence, show your story to people and say, hey, this is what we got. We showed up. By the way, our investigations only take a couple of hours and we don't charge people anything. We're kind of in and out. The energy dies down. And if you know anything about this whole thing, you know that the energy dies down. You can't just keep going through and going through and going through. You're just going to exhaust all that, right? So, we did Valentine up there. Valentine, which is old, old. The upstate New York used to be the Old West before the Old West was the Old West. So stagecoaches and all that type of stuff. Valentine was a popular spot. They had the blacksmith there, they had other services. So little town for a little outpost for the people, right? Olden days. Now it's a museum, run by great people, and they allow ghost hunts to come through. That they organize. They'll take you through the place and whatever. You know what I mean? But it we went there, and it was interesting. We did our thing. I had a good medium, good psychic medium with us, and you know that's not really a huge percentage of any evidence. What they say is what they say, but it can give you a direction to go. It can give you more information, for instance. So, but collecting evidence is more pictures, EVPs, things like that. Or even personal experiences. But I like the hard stuff myself, right? So especially a good Class A EVP, full sentence, someone talking to you directly, that's intelligent connection, intelligent conversation, and that person wasn't in the room with you, disembodied voice, right? So that's what we're looking for. You know what I mean? And we also do other stuff. We put powder on the floor if applicable. You don't want to mess somebody's floor up. One time we did a big salt circle on this person's linoleum floor. And they were like, "Do it." And their cat went and walked right in the middle of it and laid down. The cat knew exactly. The cat knew. Cats are shrewd, man. Can't mess with cats when it comes to the paranormal. Cats are right in there. Cats are in control. They're always in control. They are cats. So in paranormal investigation, cats chill out. Cats watch a fireworks show. Your dog grows and runs away, hides under the bed. That's cats. Cats are badass. So the NSA. Well, let me get back to the hell I was talking about. I've done driven off the highway and I'm on some side road. I'm in your neighborhood right now. I'm in your driveway. But it really comes down to, all right, well, let's just get away from all this other crap I was talking about. It comes down to communication. Communication. So sure, 13,000 years ago, you had all these Paleo Indians, you had the Fremont, you had Clovis, and all that in the United States were the first groups of people. They all have a different story. The white man's story for the Navajo is that they came over the bridge from Siberia all these years ago. The Navajo story for the Navajo is that they came from the east and they crossed great rivers to get where they are. So whatever, man. Obviously, they couldn't communicate that to these people writing the stories about it. So it really comes down to recorded history and what you believe. So let's say an alien lands in front of you, pops the hatch, and says, "Hey, hi there. What are you gonna do, man? Are you ready for the contact? Do you think that people are ready for contact? Human beings. Do you think people are ready for that type of contact? Because your cat would just shrug it off. Cats be like, "Psst, dealt with aliens before back in the day. Back in the day in Egypt, that's why there's cats, statues of cats everywhere because that's what they do." So, but as humans search for extraterrestrial life, and there is other life that could come from somewhere else that could endanger us all, even to bring bacteria, even to do, let's think in simple terms, right? It has to be a different type of environment altogether to occupy, unless they're exactly the same type of, humanistic people that we are, which isn't likely with all the species of life on this planet Earth, all the species of life. I mean, so many levels from everything and anything, the smallest and into insects and animals and whatever, up to humans, up to whales and whatever, man. All this stuff is very different. All of these creatures can communicate in some way, or at least have an understanding of their environment and are self-aware, right? So, but a lot of people think that we're alone in the universe, and those people are mainly religious people. A very, very narrow-minded group that would only think that, to be so arrogant to think that we're the only life in the universe, the entire universe. So, but the National Security Agency and NASA and others understand that there's something more to life than what people, you know, what people might try to guess at. And you have a lot of people who are very simple, you know what I mean, and maybe they can't handle the information. And this has been the fear for a long time of people out there in the know who will say, well, if you release this information, people might flip out and then whatever. But I don't think they will, especially with everything going on right now. I think that if you announced that there was and they were beneficial, not that they're going to be a threat, but even a threat might give the whole world something to get together on and focus on so we can pull together and evolve together, having that common thread other than what it is right now. So, so anyway, there's so many people. I mean, big name scientists, astronomers, and all the people that have answered the question of what if they think that there's civilizations out there, or where they think that the Earth civilization truly came from, and you know they all have their hypothesis, right? They all have a theory. I mean, you have to because you can't be Einstein and have someone ask you about aliens and you not have a theory. So when they start talking about in recent terms of governmental monitoring and different projects that have happened, those projects came about out of necessity. Obviously, there were a lot of sightings as the military grew, as Air Force grew, as commercial air flight grew. You had more and more encounters with UFOs. These pilots originally weren't even allowed to say anything. If they did, they'd be screwed. They'd be pulled for psychological evaluation and most likely lose their job. So they didn't say it. If you're an Air Force pilot, same. So just recently, it came to where people have an understanding now where you can report it even though I'm sure in certain circles it'll raise their eyebrows, of what's this person really seeing. But you know what? If it's the pilot, co-pilot, they're both looking at something. Other people on the plane saw it. There's a lot of that going on. So now with space flight, landing on the moon, doing all that, you know, that there has been said those astronauts said, hey, there's these discs up here in the craters, park like a parking lot, watching us, you know, uh, at a distance. So if you are an advanced species and you're on this planet and humans are your type of little project, that you want to nurse along and do whatever the hell you're doing, you know what I mean? If it's true, then that's the deal. You're going to have to watch at a distance and watch these beings grow until you have to make contact with them and are able to. We're already on Mars, right? Or maybe I should say back on Mars. We already have rovers. We already have equipment. We're already leaving trash on Mars. If you want to know humans, that's human, man, right there. Have humans been here? Oh yeah, there's a pile of trash over there. Yeah. Oh, that's a human for sure. I mean, we have so much trash flying through the atmosphere. These satellites, and even more so. India just tried to launch a rocket unsuccessfully with two, satellites on it. Blew up, crashed. They didn't even get to their orbit. They actually hit the wrong orbit and they landed on the rocket. Whatever, man. There's a lot of junk up there. It actually came crashing down right after. So there's a lot of junk up there. And these aliens have to fly through it. If they can help us with our trash problem or something, give us some kind of, we don't need weapons. We need like trash compactors, something to get rid of the garbage, right? And something to control the population. That's my wish list for Christmas. Big giant garbage compactor and control the humans. Control the humans. So I think that, yeah, I think the governments plural know a lot more than they'll ever say. Even things that are well known in our governmental history, they still don't want to bring it up. They don't like to talk about it. Once it was a secret, it was a secret. And when you're working that world of secrets, you hear something's a secret, you don't talk about it. So, but you can go back in time. I like to reference the 1561 so-called celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg, where people walked out one morning and saw discs, some black, some red, attacking each other, some smashing to the ground, and then a big arrowhead type of thing showed up, and the other discs flew inside of it and took off. Now you might say, yeah, it's a normal morning. in normal Nuremberg, 1561. At that time, they actually had a type of a news pressing where they wrote about it, and also artists captured it. It was something significant that they wanted to show you. So that's what I'm saying. It's called the broadsheet. This was in the morning of April 14th, 1561, at daybreak between 4 and 5 a.m. A dreadful apparition occurred on the sun, and then this was seen in Nuremberg in the city before the gates and in the country by many men and women. At first, it appeared to be the middle of a sun of two blood red semicircles, and in the sun, above and below on both sides, the color was blood. Blood! There stood a round ball of a partly dull, partially black ferrous color, like a ship, like a flat color, I guess. Likewise, there stood on both sides as a torus about the sun, such blood red ones, and other balls in large numbers, about three in a line and four in a square. So they were in formation, right? Also, some alone. In between these globes, there were visible a few blood red crosses. between which there were blood red stripes, becoming thicker and to the rear and to the front, malleable like rods of reed grass. And think about this is 1561. This is they they didn't have like the such expressive language like we today can communicate. So they're really going to just describe what they see and liken it to what they know. So they said these all started fighting amongst themselves, so that the globes which were first in the sun flew out to the ones standing on both sides. Hereafter, the globes standing outside the sun and the small and large rods flew into the sun. Besides, the globes flew back and forth among themselves and fought vehemently with each other for over an hour. Over an hour. You had an alien battle over Nuremberg for over an hour. This wasn't some celestial event. This wasn't the sun coming up and sun spots or sun pillars. I've got plenty of pictures of sun pillars. They don't look like an alien battle. That's for sure. And not only that, they heard it. They heard the sounds, the explosions, boom, ba boom, boom. These things were crashing to the ground. Let's see. So this happened over an hour, and when the conflict in and again out of the sun was most intense, they became fatigued to such an extent that they all, as said above, fell from the sun down upon the earth as if they all burned, and then they wasted away on the earth with immense smoke. Smoke. Ever see a sun pillar cause immense smoke? Nah, me neither. After all of this, there was something like a black spear, very long and thick sided. The shaft pointed to the east, the point pointed west. Whatever such signs mean, God alone knows. Only we have seen shortly one after the other many kinds of signs of heaven. So then they go on just to talk about God and repentance. God, it's the Almighty God to bring us to repentance. So that they were kind of, this is God's wrath. We saw this because it's God. None of the people were hurt. So for God's wrath, it was pretty mild. If you know about any wrath of God type of stuff. So this was obviously a battle between two groups, maybe more, but at least two over Nuremberg in 1561. So you say, okay. And everybody witnessed it. They all came out. It was a ruckus up in the skies early in the morning, that they're hearing these explosions and this thing's going on. So then we're going to talk about just a few years later, another celestial phenomenon over Basel, Switzerland, right? A series of mass sightings of celestial phenomena occurred in 1566 above Basel, Switzerland. The Basel pamphlet of 1566 describes unusual sunrises and sunsets. Celestial phenomena were said to have fought together in a form of numerous red and black balls. So the same thing, same story. They got a picture of it here, and it's the same type of depiction, of the one in Germany, not that far away. This is the same general area, right? The report is discussed among historians and meteorologists. Of course, they clash on all kinds of stuff. The phenomenon has been interpreted by some ufologists to be a sky battle between unidentified flying objects. The leaflet written by historian Samuel Coxius reported it as a religious event. So another one, it's religion, it's God doing this, and this is 1566. You know what I mean? Long time, no technology going on, nothing like that, and here are these battles. So if there are groups, and here's my point when it comes to communication, if there are groups like that and they're battling it out, in history like that, who's to say that they're still at odds with someone now? And who's to say that there aren't other opposing groups that will come from somewhere else? That psychic Baba Vanya said that there was going to be an asteroid coming to Earth or close to Earth, and these aliens are going to be riding on it, man. and they were going to flourish, whatever. So we've got that to look forward to. Again, why do you need AR-15? Well, I'd say that. Get out of here, alien. Alien, get out of here, you are Metaterminator. This is the United States of America. We'll slap your booty. Slap your booty too, alien. Because we're like Captain Kirk. We want to lay our seed through the universe and destroy. Anyway, that's it. That's people for you. I'm going to leave that there. I will see you guys on Discovery Paranormal next week. Who knows what the hell we were talking about, man? Moving forward, I want to communicate. I want to talk to some aliens. I got stuff to say. You know, I have a lot of stuff. I got things that questions, tons of questions, man. You know what I mean? Questions. I'll see you guys next week on this here shoe on United Public. Let's do this, man. United Public Radio Network. Joe Montalvo's Bitch Goddess. UPRN.com. Ha ha.